a protocol that basically nullifies the argument that Hex has runaway inflation. Because a lot of people I've spoken to, they look at it saying it's overly inflationary. It's not going to. It dilutes its value, especially with the stock split we've seen now with Ethereum and PulseChain. And I know a lot of people were kind of surprised at the price what happened with Hex, but it wasn't surprising to me when you have a stock split and double the supply. What internet money is doing is basically nullifying that in a lot of ways through the utilization of the wallet. So the more the wallet is used, the more hex is burned, and the same thing with PulseX as well. So I think that when KG says this is the native wallet for PulseChain, I agree 10,000%. I think it's very valuable in that prospect.
Well, and let me just do a little moon math here for all those that like the moon math, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
So MetaMask is not transparent with their numbers. So if you ever want to find out MetaMask data, you have to kind of go to other people who have abstracted that data from MetaMask using whatever. So the best data we can come up with is that MetaMask on average earns 95,000 to $2 million a day in fee revenue. A day. Okay. Now, let's say the Hex community banded together, got even 1% of the time supply, put that into the Hex buy and burn contract, and internet money becomes as popular as MetaMask. And look, MetaMask is easily passable, not easily, hard work will have to occur, but less than 1% of the world's population interacts with crypto, and even less than that interact with MetaMask. So, like, we're talking about a small portion of the world using this service, and it still generates that much money. Different story. Let's say 1% of all time ends up in the Hex buy and burn contract. That means every single day, $950 to $20,000 of Hex would be bought off the open market and removed from existence. And now, for my tokenomic nerds out there listening, all right, we're going to go a little bit further into the weeds. Okay, let me just run down this rabbit hole real quick.
Yeah, go ahead, please. I'm all ears, man.
So first of all, you have the buy pressure, which is green candle. You have remove from existence, so we don't hold it, nobody holds it, there's no OA, it just it leaves circulation forever. Okay, so it can never re-enter circulation and put a red candle, so it's like green candle and then can never red candle. Okay, now because Hex doesn't actually have a burn function, here's where it gets super bullish. Hex doesn't have a burn function. Yes, it burns when you stake it, but it doesn't have a function where you can just delete it. That doesn't exist. So the way you burn it is you send it to what's called the dead address. It's an address that exists that nobody can access. There's no private key to that address. Thousands of tokens send their tokens to this address to burn it. Here's what's really cool about that. So the Hex that gets bought and burned as a part of the Internet Money Protocol is it sits in this dead address. Well, for Hex stakers, how is the yield calculated? It's calculated by the total supply of Hex that exists. So even though it's removed from circulation and inaccessible, the yield that stakers are being paid still factor in the Hex that we bought and burned because they're not technically deleted. They're just inaccessible. So we put green candle from buy pressure, remove the possibility of red candle because it can never re-enter circulation, but Hex stakers still benefit off of that yield. It's threefold bullishness.
Yeah,
That's the deep dive for the tokenomic nerds.